Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Seal Podcast, episode number 184 for the 21st of July, 2023. I am your host, Fraser. I'm joined on my left by Dave.
Hello.
That is all.
Just us two
Neil is
tonight.
away. Yeah,
Yep.
just us two. I know that's just wonderful. Neil is away on holiday, so apologies for the lamer Twitch stream. Neil furnished us with all the tools, and we pretty much haven't used any of them, have we?
We
Just
cobbled something together right at the last minute.
yeah,
Yep.
that's fine. Okay, let me pull up my show notes here then. Now that we've got that Twitch thing sorted out. Okay, good. Yes, Dave, how are you? You all right, mate?
I'm good, thank you. Well, funnily enough, I've kind of been thrown in the deep end at work as well because I'm like the only person doing the job at the moment because everybody else is on holiday. So yeah, it's like tonight it feels quite like the rest of the week actually, like being
Oh
just
yeah.
thrown in. Well, not thrown in, kind of given the tools, but like yeah, you just go and do it. It's fine.
Well, I sort of screwed you a bit, didn't I, earlier? Because I was just like, Dave, can you do this?
Yeah, I know we did speak about it last week, and I was like, yeah, all right, yeah, and then you was like, we'll start at 9. I was like, oh, ah.
Yeah. Well, I think we've started at 9 pretty much almost every week now for months,
Mm.
right? So it's almost a given. It just makes my life a lot easier starting at that hour earlier, which I appreciate you accommodating me on that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That is fine. Lets you actually get some stuff done afterwards.
Yeah. Anyway, so while Neil's off gallivanting, and of course he didn't leave us properly prepared, so all blame lies at his feet, right?
Yes. Oh, definitely. Yeah, always blame the person that's not here. That's
Perfect.
the rule.
Yes. Yep. Okay. Well, let's move forward. I mean, there's not going to be. We haven't got Mr. Footy. Not that we're in footy season anymore. I haven't really looked at anything on the fantasy side this week, so I think that's a wash for this week. Unless you have anything you want to talk about.
No, no, I've just made a few changes because I think one other person was in red on me. I just wasn't.
Sacco, right, was out.
Yeah.
We discussed him last week, so yeah, I
Yeah.
think I went in and made a change, but I can't even remember who I put. But I did check, and I think the season starts August 11th is the first game. So
Okay.
that's the date to mark in your calendars for about two weeks away. No, 3 weeks away.
Is that it?
That's it. Yeah, it comes round quick.
Where's the? It'll be Christmas soon.
Mate, they could have had 3 months off or something, so that's
Uh,
okay. Don't feel sorry for them.
no, I'm just thinking about for the year. Where's it going? It's just like
Oh,
it's just
yeah.
like kids are off now. School our side.
Well, the kids are off school just now for you guys, right?
Mm.
It's pretty much that's it. Now they're off. To me, it feels like we're already halfway through the summer. Like my kids have been off for a couple of weeks
Oh
already.
really?
Staring down the barrel of August. That to me is like, oh my god, the summer's disappearing
Yeah,
as I look.
yeah. All these
But
good ideas
anyway,
about going like I don't know. We want to do some bits and bobs in the summer holidays, but yeah, it's like oh, I don't know. Don't know.
I'm cursed by the same thing. It's not even. It's every week. I'm just like, you know what? I should throw a load of stuff in the back. I should throw the tents and everything in the back of the car. Just grab the dog or grab a child and just go. Right? Take advantage of it. And every time it gets close to the weekend, I'm like, oh, God, I can't be bothered.
Just start finding small jobs to do around.
Oh, there's
Start.
yeah, no shortage of those. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's move on to listener stuff. Then we don't have much. In fact, Master Blackthorn here says, "Evening, chaps. So a completely on-topic, relevant video game question for your video game podcast. Where do you like to go on holobobs?" He says,
Well,
which is a question we've been asked before. I am
yeah,
just going to, yeah, and it's not a problem. He says he's currently in Devon because I love a good old British seaside holiday,
that's good.
which is fair enough. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, that. Yep.
I like to travel around. I've been back to the same place a few times, a couple of times in the UK, once abroad. It's not the same when you go back the second time. I like the adventure of going somewhere new.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anywhere really, anywhere where I haven't gone before. UK's nice. Abroad is also nice. I don't care really.
just get away, right? No, actually, I'm pretty much the same thing. I think my wife and I would never ever go back to the same place twice.
Right.
You know, like if there's a connection there and that's why you're going back, for sure.
Yeah.
You know, if you know people or whatever, that's something different. But I can't think that I've ever really gone back to the same holiday destination ever a second time.
No, no. Whereas I
Um,
know people that literally goes to the same hotel in the same week, like been doing it for years. Like
yeah,
it's just like no, no. You know, half it is also if you're being fed, if you're on a all inclusive or half board or anything, you're being fed, so you don't have to cook yourself. You don't have to clean up. You know that is nice, but no, I'm not one for sitting around like catching the sun. Like I like to get out and about and jump on the buses or get a motorbike or get a car and go for like my own adventure.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think we're very similar. Yeah, given the choice, I mean, you know, if money was limitless, I mean, I'm sure I would go anywhere I could, right? You know, there's lots of places in the world that I haven't been, which I'd like to see. Um, but unfortunately, funds and time are limited, and so I will take the old school Canadian holiday up by the lakes, which I've said before, and I do quite often. We have family up that way, and sometimes we'll rent a cottage or whatever and get out and just
Nice.
yeah, that's all. I'm quite happy with that. Do
Yeah.
that all
Yeah.
day long.
The wife has always said that she'd really like to go on a sort of across America Route 66 style, like in a big Winnebago
Oh yeah,
uh, or something like that. Or like she likes the idea of a big truck, not of a trailer, but just the truck
oh
with the
yeah,
sleeper in the back and stuff.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, but that'll be like a couple of months because it's not going to be just straight line across. Um, you know, I'd have to go through Nevada and you know, I'd want to do sort
Yeah,
of a southwest to northeast kind of thing, like California to New York or something.
yeah.
Um,
You want some time to do that
yeah, yeah, that'll be a good 2 or 3 month.
because
Um,
you need a week before you even got into it, right? Before
yeah,
you start to relax and get into it, and
yeah,
then you know, and you're not doing it in anything under 2 weeks. I
no,
don't think getting from one side to the other.
no,
I wouldn't have thought taking your time to see stuff. I mean, we've driven down into the States quite a few times, and there are so many opportunities just to you'll be going down like the main highways or whatever, and there's opportunity after opportunity just to take a quick right and go
right,
explore down some side road and see something which you had no idea, nobody has an idea exists, but is
right,
interesting, right, to go and
mm,
see.
yeah.
um
Like the biggest ball of yarn in America or something.
yeah, all that sort of stuff. I know one of the ones the reason I say that is because one of the ones I remember we did was, I think we were down through Georgia. I think it was Georgia. And I don't know, my wife just found it, and we just hung this sort of went down these sort of back roads or whatever, and we ended up in the little sort of village where they filmed Fried Green Tomatoes. Do you
Oh,
remember that
okay. Yeah,
movie?
yeah, I remember. Yeah.
It's all based around some sort of cafe or something like that. So we had lunch there or whatever, and like
Okay.
probably the only thing keeping this place
Right.
afloat is the little minimal amount of tourism coming in from there.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah,
that's pretty
tedious
neat.
link
Right?
to an old movie. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, so that's about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hope you're enjoying Devon. I like Devon. It's a nice place.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Um,
I've been to St Ives. Well, I say I don't like going to the same place. I've been to St Ives a few places, but we always go to stay somewhere different. Um, but I like the once first time we went down to St Ives is I did like all the North Coast beaches in about a week and a half. And then we did St Ives, and we stayed quite actually in the middle, and that's beautiful. I love St Ives as a little town. Next time we go down, I want to start doing like the South Coast um, beaches and Lizard and do like all the different sort of seaports. And yeah, like every day is an adventure with me, and the missus hates
yeah,
it. She just wants to lay there. She's like, no, come on, let's get
that's all
going.
right. We can go on holiday together. You and I should go.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's Devon's a beautiful place.
Okay, well, thank you, Master Blackthorn, for the question. Much appreciated. I think that's all we have from listeners this week. A little bit thin on the
Yeah.
ground, but that's okay. Uh,
Yes.
There's nothing else.
Nothing else.
Let's move on then to what we've been doing.
What have we
I'll
been
start,
doing?
shall I?
Yeah. Yeah, you've got quite a lot on your
Um,
stuff on your plate. Sweet.
yeah. Well, I've started falling back into my television watching. I don't know. It goes in fits and starts, and now I feel like I've had one of those weeks where it's just I had lots of ambition to do stuff, and then I just found myself on the sofa, and I was like, I just need to vegetate on the sofa and watch stuff. Um, so I'll run through a couple of things we watched. We watched that Ant-Man Quantumania.
What do you
So we
reckon?
got. It wasn't the worst movie I've ever seen.
No.
Very forgettable, I think.
No. Did you like? Is it more Modoc?
Oh
Mordock?
yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah, because I remember him in the comics when I was younger, so I'd
Oh,
seen
okay.
him before. Um, so that was a nice surprise to see him. I can't remember what was the name of the major bad guy. It was the
uh,
Lord of something or other, wasn't it? I can't
yeah,
remember.
yeah. We're not sure if him and the woman had a thing.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
because there
I
was
think
discussions about them being close down there,
right.
but never said out loud. Um,
Yeah, he looked like he could be interesting. The one thing I took away from that movie is, see, I don't find it the way I looked at it, and I was watching it, and I thought, you know what, Paul Rudd is a little bit boring. I'm sorry to say,
mm, yeah,
he's not really, Ant-Man is a little bit boring.
yeah,
I don't think he's a wonderful superhero. I mean, he's okay to have in there as like, a bit part, or they are really, really bringing the towel out, trying to get
yeah,
3, 4 movies out of this. The
yeah,
first one was okay, but I mean,
yeah,
uh,
yeah. As
and
a
what's
as a standalone, but yeah,
yeah,
then yeah.
and what's the Wasp? I've forgotten what her name is now. I keep wanting to call her Liv Tyler, but it's not Liv Tyler. It's oh,
Don't know.
I mean, I need to look that up because I keep forgetting it. It is Evangeline Lilly,
Oh
who
yeah.
I have time for sure, but it looks to me like she's sort of reinventing herself into that sort of middle-agedness.
Right.
She's not so young anymore, so she has this sort of middle-aged haircut. It looks great, no doubt about it. Um, but doesn't sort of, I don't think, fit that superhero mold. It almost looks as though she's checking out a little bit.
Right.
And then I'm gonna
See,
sound like
I remember her from Lost. She was hot in Lost.
right, yeah, but that was like 20 years ago, right? Um,
Yeah.
uh, and then Michelle Pfeiffer. I said this to my wife, and I felt terrible saying it because I think I was appearing maybe as a bit of a misogynistic woman hater, and I'm not by any means. But there's a couple of things. Michelle Pfeiffer she. I don't know. I feel like they put her in put her. Did they put her in the first one? Was she in the first one or just the second one?
No,
I can't
she's in the
remember.
first one. Yeah, she's in the
Was
first
she in the
one.
first one? I
Yeah.
feel like they threw her in the first one, and then she hasn't aged well enough to be in them still be in them. There were a couple of moments in where I thought she looked okay. I think she's suffering. Oh, it just so sounds terrible to say. I don't like saying it, but a lot of these sort of female actors go under the knife and they don't end up looking that great in later
No.
years. They end
No.
up looking pretty odd. And Michelle Pfeiffer is suffering from that. And I don't know. I mean, it's probably a tough gig, right, in Hollywood being an aging actor, especially someone who was, by all intents and purposes, phenomenally good looking and really rode on, being an incredible piece of eye candy back in the day, as well as a good actress. I'm not taking anything away from her. But yeah, I just didn't think she looked that great in the part. I don't know. I feel, like I say, I feel a bit bad, feel a bit rough saying that, but I'm saying it anyway. So all in all, I don't know. Oh yeah, and that was the other thing. Did you see it? So they,
Yeah,
so they
yeah,
have, so they take her daughter, right?
yeah.
She
Yes.
gets all involved in it, and she has a suit. And then right at the end, I think they completely missed a trick. They had all the problems right at the end. That daughter could have suited up, gone in, and saved the day,
Yeah.
and been a new hero. a younger, newer hero, someone to be interested in. And I just think they absolutely missed a trick because the girl who was playing the daughter, I don't know who she is or whatever, but I thought she was very capable, looked interesting, had a nice sort of demeanor about her. I thought suited the role really well. And they completely, I think, missed a trick. They could have made her front and center, something to look forward to in the next sort of installment. I mean, maybe you still can, but I don't think they took advantage. I think they just ended up, going lazy again at the end. All right, we'll get Ant-Man to save everybody. I don't know. I wasn't that impressed. Anyway,
Yeah, it was.
I
Well, apparently it's the main bad guy. That's the one that's going to be sort of pushing the story forward now. He's the main.
right.
He's going to be the main like, not Thor. What was the what was the bloke's name?
Oh yeah. Okay, so he's called
Kang,
Kang the Conqueror.
Yeah, yeah. Thanos. He's
Thanos,
basically
yeah.
the Thanos for the new
Yeah,
whatever.
he looks super powerful, right? He's obviously got super. He's obviously hardcore. Yeah, he looked interesting. So that was good. Anyway,
Yeah.
we'll see how that works out. So anyway, there you go. I've given far too much time to.
Yeah, I went and saw it at cinema when it came out, and it was good on the cinema.
Yeah.
It was very cinematic, but yeah, like, um,
Yeah, I could see that. There was a lot going on. There was one point in the movie where I was like, "Holy shit!" There's a lot going on here on the screen. It was pretty impressive. Um,
Oh.
but the other thing is as well. I mean, I feel like the Marvel movies are running their course with me. Like
I think
they got a
that's the same with
license.
a lot
They've
of
got a
people.
license to print scripts now. They got into outer space, right?
Yeah.
And they've got all this weird shit going on, so they can do whatever they want.
Yeah. Multiverse, anything can and has and will happen. So everything's happened.
Yeah.
So
Oh my God, we've gone back in time. Oh my
yeah.
God, we're into a different dimension, and things are a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, they can do whatever they want, right?
Yeah. Well, Iron Man's coming back because he's going to be brought from a different dimension into just like I don't know. As soon as they start losing money on a couple of films, Iron Man will be back. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna be. I think once they do that, I think that's gonna be like jumping the shark sort of moment.
I
Yeah.
just think they all jump the shark anyway. I mean, I was thinking about it last night. Guardians of the Galaxy is coming. The third one. Is it out yet? I don't even know if it's out yet or whatever.
It's out. It's in a cinema. It's gonna be released on streaming services soon. August, I
Does
think.
anyone really care? I mean, first Guardians of the Galaxy was brilliant, right?
Yep.
It was refreshing. It had cool characters. It was pretty neat. And then
Yeah.
then nobody has the balls to take a chance on something new again. Let's just roll out the second one and then roll out the third one. And they're completely bland,
Yeah.
right? They're completely throwaway and forgettable. It's just such a shame. It's nice when they take a chance on new stuff. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's
Right.
it. And but they they don't like to gamble with money, do they?
Yeah.
Just something works and they smash out 5 films.
Well, why wouldn't they? They know it's going to make millions, right? So
Yeah, that's it.
can't argue with it. Well, you can, but yeah. So we watched that. The other movie I watched last night was Hot Tub Time Machine 2.
Ah, well, that's what HTTM2 is.
Yes.
I haven't watched any of them to be honest.
Have you not? I thought the
No.
first Hot Tub Time Machine was all right.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I thought it was fun. Completely juvenile. But the films know what they are.
Right.
And they play to that. And actually, Hot Tub Time Machine 2, I don't know why. I would never in a million years thought I would watch it, but I watched it and it was all right. It did make me laugh in parts. I mean, some of it's dreadful, but it did make me laugh in
I was
parts.
going to say, is it an 18, is it?
Oh, it's absolutely 18
Right, okay.
puerile
Right.
blokey humor, but
Right.
some of it really does hit well. If you're in the mood for a bit of a laugh, then whatever. Probably not wife material.
Right.
I mean,
Or
but,
young daughter material.
yeah, what was it? Oh, I think my daughter walked in right as like some girl comes in with no clothes. She's like, "Dang!" Oh my God! All right. So that was pretty good. So I did enjoy that a little. It was okay. And then the other thing we've started watching is The Bear. So the first season of The Bear was last year.
Oh,
That was the
okay.
one about the Chicago restaurant.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, which we really enjoyed, and I believe they ended up going and winning some awards or whatever. It was it's an award-winning series. Anyway, season two's just dropped on Disney Plus. Um, so we started watching that last night. Chomped through 2 episodes. No worries, we're gonna have that done in a few days. Absolutely guaranteed.
Cool.
Well worth a watch. It does appear to, if anybody's watched it, it does appear to me that it's sort of it's suffering what Ted Lasso suffered from. Like the first series was, a very good story arc done well, and then they go into a second series and it's like, well, right, what can we do?
Right.
And and there's already in there a couple of things like that. I'm like, really, that's just a little bit lame. But at the same time, that's only tiny. The rest of it I'm really enjoying, and the characters are good, nice and fleshed out. That we saw in the last series. So I highly recommend The Bear. And then also on here, I made it. So I was talking last week. I needed to get to number 50 something on my list for swimming, right? Filling in the
Yes.
blanks of
Yes.
my swimming. I made it just by the skin
Oh,
of my teeth. I went in on Monday morning, swimming on Monday morning. So I made it. So I broke even on my season pass.
nice.
And then, yeah, so I was pleased with that. I bought the next day or Wednesday, I bought a new pass and I went swimming on Wednesday. I did not go swimming today. Um, I would like to have gone swimming today, but I am a broken man, Dave.
Yeah. What have you been doing? You've been.
So I get up early yesterday morning and I'm walking around barefoot and I walk up past the front door and I kicked a sandal that was like lying, just sitting there.
Right.
And you're like, oh, sandal, that's no big
Yeah.
deal. But for some reason, I managed to connect with the sandal just on my middle toe. So it took the full brunt on my middle toe. And I'm not sure if I've broken it. It is
Ooh.
like I can wiggle it, and it's black, by the way. I can wiggle it, but if the dog steps on it or I step the wrong way, I am in absolute agony. So I don't know. I'm just trying to deal with that. So I decided. Oh, and I sliced my finger open as well on Tuesday, cutting an onion. And it's still bleeding this morning, so I don't know what's
Oh.
going on with that. It's just like because it's just keep catching it on stuff and all that sort of
Right.
thing,
Yeah.
right? It's just driving me nuts. So I'm a broken man. I didn't go swimming today.
Don't blame you.
Uh,
Don't put yourself through it, especially with your manky black toe. Uh,
yeah, I know. Oh.
yeah. No. Yeah. Ouch.
So
Uh,
I took a guilt-free day off today, which I'm okay with.
yep. I don't blame you, mate.
No,
Um. No. Sorry, my dog's just randomly barking. That's right. Why did you got?
I can't. I can't hear him
No. Okay.
or her. Sorry.
Her. Yeah. 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 She's woofing at
There she
something.
is.
Yeah.
I see her in the back
Yeah.
there.
She's
Bless her.
she's
Looking
got something
perky.
on.
Oh, she's something. Something's got her attention. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Um.
Oh, bless her.
Never mind.
Looks just like my dog, but way smaller and fluffier. That same sort of dog look. They're all the same, no matter the size.
Right.
Yeah, so that's all I got on there. So I don't know what
Lovely.
you've been up to.
Well, I've got a couple of things. So I've been watching some telly this week. I don't know if you've ever seen or heard of a series called Wellington Paranormal.
No.
It's by the same guys that did, and it's kind of in the same universe as the What We Do in the Shadows. What We Did in the Shadows.
Okay.
It's a New Zealand. It's quite weird. It's kind of like a cross between the X Files and The Bill, but with comedy.
Right.
And it's New Zealand coppers in Wellington, New Zealand, um, being sort of coming across paranormal cases, and it's ever so funny. Um, we It's on Sky in the UK on catch up, but if you get a chance, watch a couple of episodes and yeah, see if you get hooked on that. I think there's 4 seasons of it. There's 4 seasons, and then there's a load of specials that I did over COVID lockdowns.
Okay.
Um, but it's kind of my kind of humor. It's a real sort of dry, um, uh, not slapstick or like comedy. It's kind of um, yeah, it's quite self-referential. Sort of take the piss out of its own style comedy. I love it. Yeah, I love.
Yeah,
We we've
I'm on board.
we've smashed through about 2 seasons,
Oh yeah.
and it's only like 6 or 8 episodes per season, and they're not particularly long. But it's just such an easy thing to put on the telly and watch and just laugh along to.
All right.
Yeah, it's enjoy it immensely. Um, the other
Yeah, I
thing I've
could get
been
on board that.
The other thing been watching, and it's only me watching, the missus isn't watching it. It's a series called The Ark, um, and it's a sort of a sci-fi. The the Earth is dying, and they've created a ship, and they've sent it off to the best possible, what they think is a world that can sustain life. And it all kicks off halfway through the travel. Um, I started watching it. It's pretty poor.
Oh,
It's been hyped up by a lot of people. I've heard a lot of people talk about it and stuff, and seen people writing about it on websites. I don't like it. It's I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Just don't think it's very good.
no.
It's been done so many times. It's the same story. Um, just rehashed slightly. You know, there's a life raft and people would try to get on it and things like all the tropes of what could go wrong to go wrong in the
Oh
most
yeah.
tropey way, and it's just like yeah. I watched 2 episodes and I was like, I'm not even gonna bother watching the rest.
Oh
I
dear.
normally like that stuff.
Yeah, I would have said
Yeah.
that sounded like it's. Well, you're the guy who's going to try this stuff,
Yeah,
right? You know.
but no, 2 episodes in, it's just like, this is it's not very well shot. There's the CGI is not great. There's no outstanding characters. Um, um, yeah, it's just not very good. So yeah, um,
No.
the next thing I'm going to try is the Silo. That's been talked up as well, which is again another story that's been done over and over and again. Post-apocalyptic future. They're in a silo, which is basically like a dome, um, and things are not what they really are, what they seem to be. Um, but yeah, I'm going to give that one a go because again, that's another one that's been talked about recently. Whether it's just because not a lot has come out because we're kind of coming, stuff is being released after COVID and the production and everything is being released now. But then we got the writer's strike soon, haven't we? Well,
Yeah, I'm not sure
active
what.
strike. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're going to start to feel the effects of that soon. Um, maybe some of us might not even notice. Who knows? That cast on that silo looks pretty good.
Yes.
But like the other one I looked at, I didn't recognize any of the names, but this one, Tim Robbins, Rashida Jones.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
I think that more money's been ploughed into that one than the Ark. But yeah, I'll give that one a go.
that looks
Um,
like it's on Apple TV.
yes, it is. Um, the other thing I've been doing, I haven't wrote it down. It's because I've literally been doing it today. Um, I've been fighting with fighting. I've been struggling to use a shredder, a garden shredder.
Okay.
Um, so I borrowed off my dad his, I say brand new, his shredder that he uses for his garden. It's only like a year old, but it's an electric one, a 6 kilowatt, um, or 6 horsepower. I don't know. It's a it's a big old thing, and you can apparently fit. I don't know if you're on a big round like wood down it. Um, it's a very powerful machine, and you put things in, and literally like it
Just
fires
chomps them up, right? Yeah,
fires it
it's just
out like
massively geared up to
yeah.
just huge amounts of torque.
Yeah. It's one of those
Yeah.
things that yeah, you like. There's things that I'd really hurt myself if I
You
got
would
in
not
that.
want to stick your hands in there.
No, the thing is, you put these sticks in, they actually get like sucked down into the thing,
Yeah,
and
super
yeah.
dangerous.
Oh no, yeah. So I killed it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, I thought I had. So that's how I used it yesterday. And then it stopped working because something got caught in it. So I stopped the machine, cleared it all out, put it all back together, like got the chutes cleared and got the big rotor cleared, unplugged it and everything, plugged it back in, would not switch on. So, oh no.
Right.
Spent half hour last night trying to fix it. No. Okay, so I was like, oh, okay, right, I'll go back to basics. I'll I'll undo all the bolts again because some of the bolts have actually got kill switches on it. So if you're not bolted correctly, it won't switch on because this big rotor that's
It's part of safety
yeah,
check, right?
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So I thought I hadn't bolted something up correctly, or one of the switches had switched out, and so I
Yeah.
reset all the switches. I done everything, plugged it all back, put it together, nothing. I was like, oh God's sake. Thinking, like worrying my dad was going to kill me because I've killed his new shredder. Half hour later, it turned out I'd actually killed my extension cord.
Oh,
So
overheated the
uh,
extension cord?
well, the extension cord has a reset switch on it,
Oh,
but I think I blew the fuse on it, and it's a
right.
replaceable fuse, so that's fine.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
I was just
yeah.
like, I'll just double check because we were doing it at the top of the garden to put it all in the compost. I was like, I wheeled it back to, and for some reason it's only got like a half meter plug on it, so I had to put it right next to the plug, um, plug it in, and yeah, it started fine. I was like, oh god,
Yeah.
okay, so yeah, hopefully it's only a fuse on my extension because it's a brand new extension bit, and they're not cheap.
No, it's probably just the fuse. There's not
No.
much else that can go wrong with those. Thing is, if the motor gets jammed, it's going to pull extra amps or
Yeah.
something, right? And it's just going to pop
Yeah.
everything. So, yeah, I also find that with a lot of stuff with motors that they'll stop working or whatever, and there's usually they have overheat protection on them or
Yeah.
something like that. But
Yeah.
like decent stuff
Yeah.
will
Well,
protect
that's why I
itself.
thought I'll leave it overnight, like, because I was getting fed up with it last night, instead of going just chucking it in the bin or something, or just wheeling it back to my dad. It's not working. It's like no, I'll leave it, and then I rationally went, okay, well, what can it be? Like, took out everything that it might be, all the switches, and then the last thing was like, I'll just plug it into the wall just to check. It's like
Yeah.
yeah, started working
Am I
fine.
getting power to the unit? You weren't getting power to the
No,
unit.
it's such a basic thing.
It's really basic, actually, when you think about it, isn't it? Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I've dog's barking.
Well done anyway for figuring it out, right? I
So
mean,
yeah,
it's
that's the job for tomorrow. Um,
yeah.
but the thing about I don't know if you've got one or use this. You have to, I've, you have to
I
have
have a
the
man for that.
oh you've got um, the one that we've got. Obviously, it's got like a feeding hole, um, and it's such a I think I spent more time and effort getting all the sticks to be nice and like easily put into the chute
Right.
than actually what I would have done just cutting it all up into small bits with a lopper.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I felt like I was making myself work to do work to sort. Oh,
Yeah, well, I mean, that's quite possible, right? I mean, if you go, I saw there was some guys came. I was walking the dog today, and I saw this huge truck coming into the complex, and he was pulling a trailer behind him, and that was
mm,
a shredder,
yeah,
right? But proper commercial
yeah,
shredder being pulled by a huge truck. You know, they're lopping off massive
yeah,
branches, right?
yeah,
And I think that there is a whole load of tools out there in the Home Depots or the B&Qs or whatever it is, wherever you shop,
mm,
where it's like you can do this yourself, right? You just need this tool that we have, right? But you still, the laws of physics apply. You can't beat the laws of physics.
no,
And a $100 to $200 piece of equipment out of Home Depot is not going to do the same job that a $2,000 to $3,000
no,
commercial piece of equipment is
no.
going to do,
And
and
you
it will.
might. Yeah, you
it
might
will
as well
have a
just
go at it, and it will do
yeah.
some. It will shred, right? Or it will cut, or
Yeah.
whatever it is that you're getting. But you
Yeah,
know,
not to what you hope it's going to be like.
no,
Um, yeah, it'll probably be better. It would like time and effort and economy. It'll probably be. It would have been cheaper if I'd have just rented one of those things for 2 or 3 hours.
rent a
And
proper one
yeah,
built for the purpose,
yeah,
right?
literally
Yeah,
rent
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah,
Just rent it, pull it all out the front, and then just say right, and just chuck it in and do it on a big trailer and take it down to the tip.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And that would be renting something like that. It's probably going to be like 100 quid, but
Yeah.
like this machine from my dad's, it's about 600 or 700 quid. It's a proper one, but it's still a home. It's like the best home one you can get.
Right.
Um, but yeah, you really need to sort of go into diesel generator and um, big big ones that is just put logs in it,
Yeah,
not
exactly. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, well, it's like if I go to buy a table saw, right? I mean, I bought a table saw,
Hmm.
and it'll cut things on this table saw. But as soon as you start to really challenge it, and you're like, I'm not really up to the job.
No. Then it starts. You start getting dangerous.
Yeah, it starts to tell you, it's like, look, dude, that cost $150. Come on, give me a break. Actually, I repaired something this week. The handle on my barbecue broke,
Okay.
and it's the weirdest handle. It's like it's. I'm trying to think the best way to explain it is that you basically have the holes at the front of the two holes, 19 inches apart,
Right.
and you have bolts that hold plastic pieces, just flat plastic pieces,
Right.
and those sort of are there, and then the handle then bolts onto those plastic pieces, right? And I
Okay.
don't, and so one of the first plastic pieces snapped in half, and there's just no way to repair it. I mean, I could, if I want to try and resin it, I need to get high temperature stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
Like it's just, I've tried to figure out a way to get through it or whatever. And I was just like, well, do I need anything that complicated? So I ended up buying some like threaded rod or whatever and then bolted that into the holes,
Right.
and then drilled out a piece of wood with 19-inch holes in it or whatever, and sanded it and stained it or whatever. And so now my barbecue, instead of having this weird convoluted plastic handle, now has a sort of a wooden stained whatever.
Yeah.
Perfectly serviceable. And
Mm.
has extended the life of my barbecue
Oh,
nicely.
good.
So I was pleased with that. So that's good.
Seems such a
Yeah.
random thing to put on a barbecue, plastic bits that need to be bolted to. It's like it's gonna heat up. Of course it's gonna
You
be.
know, the problem is it's just like it's this handle that sort of it's curved out round the front of the barbecue, and it has a stainless steel. Well, I say stainless steel. Who knows what that's? Some sort of silvery strip that
Right.
has, lettering on it that says, I don't know, probably.
Barbecue.
No, it's something more sort of regal, like Centurion or something
Right.
like that.
Okay.
Because my barbecue has to be called something regal.
Right.
Rather, so it's more cosmetic. There's a good barbecue, but like that, but the cosmetic shit
Mm,
isn't fit for purpose. Which is typical of a lot of stuff, right?
it is.
Yeah, but yeah, there you go. Anyway, so yeah, that's a win for me, I think. Anything
Very
else?
good. No, that's it.
No, well, we're chugging right along. So let's move on then to what we've been playing. A couple of things that we're going to. Do you want to go one by one?
One by one. So I've been playing Diablo 4. More Diablo 4. The update, Season 1, dropped yesterday.
I heard that some people weren't. Actually, I think it was Master Blackthorn. I think I was reading something about from him in the Discord channel, where he said. By the way, if you post in the Discord channel, it's almost free reign that we're going to use it on the show. If you have a problem with that, let us know. But Master Blackthorn said Diablo 4 patch has caused quite a stir. Luckily, the game hasn't grabbed me like 3 did. Find it enjoyable, but I don't think the end game stuff is that compelling. Also, leveling to 100 feels like an absolute pointless grind. I've rolled a Necro for the new season though, after playing through as a rogue at launch.
Yeah, that's funny. I've rolled a Necro for the new season as well. I played a barbarian.
What does it mean you rolled a necro?
Just character that I chose and made him look how basically it's basically chosen the attributes, the look and
Is that a
the
throwback
build.
to Dungeons and Dragons when
It's
you used to have to dice roll your characters'
yeah,
attributes and stuff?
yeah. And because it's a role playing game, I don't know why that's just the wording.
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever said that before, but it's just the wording that I use for
it sounds a cool way to say
that.
it. So I like that.
But no, yeah. So I chose the Necro as well, Necromancer. I've only put like 2 or 3 hours in for the new season. It's I played it to death until I actually completed the story on the original content, which the season follows on from the main storyline of it.
Right.
But I didn't actually get past level 50 on the main one, so I don't actually know about any of the end content or post 50, where a lot of things change and how you level up and how you attribute points or not skills, but points into various attributes of your character. But the season is very long on this one. I think it's like end of September. No, end of October. Um, so I've got lots of time to actually go through. But the thing is, with my new character, because I've completed the story, I've chosen not to have the story in my new campaign. So now I've kind of like it's a bit weird because I kind of got to a point where it's like, well, what do I do now then? And there's lots to do, but there's no mainline story pushing you along. So the point is just to level up as quickly as possible using, and it was weird. Like I was like, well, why do I care? So I don't know. I'm not sure how much it will grab me now.
That's interesting.
I thought the story was really good, but a lot of people play it because they want their characters to be better and like them to like get have the better character. And there is PvP. I found out in the game. There's specific areas. I walked into there and went, oh no, and then walked out because I was scared. uh, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I care. And I think same as what Master Platform. It's like,
Can get you back onto Zelda then.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, so I enjoyed playing what I did. I think I will play a bit more as the Necromancer because it's a fun way of it's a completely different way of playing.
Right.
And
so you played as what, the first, a rogue?
So I played the Barbarian first.
Oh, Barbarian.
And then I went on to a Necromancer, and that's what Master Platform did. He was rogue, and then he's gone Necromancer. So it is interesting playing as the different characters, but how interesting is it? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right. Anything happen with the clans?
I joined the Overseas Connection. I think it was the Overseas that I joined. But I haven't actually had a chance to catch up with them yet. The idea is that we'll sort of run as a posse at some point, but my gaming time is always a bit weird compared to everybody else's, so that hasn't happened yet. But I hope to.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about you?
Okay. Wait, is that enough Diablo 4 then?
Yeah, I think so.
This podcast is not going to make it much past an hour. It's all right. It's all good. First on mine is Hunt Showdown. We are still well into the event. Probably the biggest thing for me this week is, so they've in the new event they have packs, so you can pledge to a pact, I think it's called.
Right.
Oh no, actually that's irrelevant. Anyway, they have these three packs you can pledge to or whatever. Anyway, you can get these traits, and one of the burn traits is Death Cheat.
Okay.
So when you die, you don't lose your character. So
Oh,
you're obviously
okay.
always
Right.
trying to progress your characters
Yeah.
to a higher level. And the higher level your character gets, the more traits are available to him and all that sort of
Hmm.
stuff. But it seems to be broken, right? So it's not burning the trait. So you die, you don't lose you lose all the gear that your character had, but your character survives, and the death cheat doesn't the trait doesn't burn.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't burn off, so you still have death cheat when you start again. So basically, characters are not invincible. That's the wrong word, but um,
The
don't die.
likelihood of you losing them is very low.
Yeah, I think if you burn out completely, then you're in danger of losing your character. But
Right.
if once I'm on fire, I just nope out of there. But anyway, what that does mean is that it's very easy to get a character to level 50 right now. And then when you get a character to level 50, all of the experience that you get dumps into your main account experience.
Right.
And that main account experience, that main player level that you are, goes up to 100. And when you get to 100, you can prestige, right? So not everyone plays the prestige game. Neil won't prestige his
Right.
character. Because once you prestige, you lose all your guns that you've unlocked. You lose all your money. You lose everything, right?
Right.
And you
Yeah.
start from scratch again.
Yeah.
But you get a prestige number. And I like Matt, who we play with all the time, wear the prestige number as a badge of honor. I like prestiging. I like the fact that everything gets wiped out and you start fresh again,
Right.
and it gives you a chance to go down different pathways with different weapons. I enjoy prestiging. But because your character doesn't die right now with the event, and so you get the character to level 50, all your experience dumps onto you, so you are leveling up super fast right now. If you are concentrating on doing that, and I am concentrating on doing that, and I think my last guy was less than a week to prestige, right, which is huge. Which is normally it can take a long time just playing normally. And I think I prestiged 2 days ago, and I've already got a character I've already got my main guy my main account up to level 50,
Oh,
right?
wow.
So
Okay.
I'm steaming through, and I'm eyeing up prestige level 20. Anyway, anyway, to cut a long story short, and it's phenomenally boring to those of you who aren't interested in it. I'm grinding away at that, but but the other thing about it is because I've got death cheat, the character has all these traits loaded up. So I've really fine-tuned my character to fight the way I want to fight. He's got all these traits which are really
I was gonna say, do you start getting like continually getting more traits? Because I know you get traits as you level up, but do you still get more points even though they're top level, or is that you get a
yeah,
max?
you can still get upgrade points
Right.
by picking them up in the field. There are
Yeah.
some envelopes you can pick up which have upgrade points. But the other thing they've done as well is if you have a trait, they changed it. So if you have a trait that you don't like, it used to cost blood bonds to get rid of it, which
Hmm.
is a currency you don't really want to spend on that. So we never ever got rid of traits. But now you can sell the trait for one less than it cost. So
Okay.
what I'm doing is I'm keeping a spare trait slot every time I run. So I'm not totally filling my guy with traits. So that if I go out and I find a good trait, something like Doctor,
Yeah.
which is worth 9 trait points, I can come back when I finish the mission. I can sell that and get 8 upgrade points.
Yeah.
And you need upgrade points because when you lose health bars, you have to buy back your health bars. So you need to have a stash of upgrade points. So there is this whole completely different meta
Right.
going on with the game. Plus, everyone is running special ammo. Everyone's running weird loadouts now. The whole game is just bonkers. There's another trait that there is that you can get where you can sense when you go into dark sight, you can sense if there's anyone nearby within a 75-meter radius. That is huge, right? That is
So instead of having
massive.
to look round, like you just get a notification
Yeah,
there's
you have
somebody
no
near.
idea, right? So you can
Yeah.
just be wandering around. You go into dark sight. Suddenly it's a little bit orange. You go, oh shit, there's someone near.
Right.
And like I had loads of times in my last characters run last week where I was getting killed by people, and I was like, how the fuck did they? Why did they suddenly on? Did they hear me? I'm sure I
Mm.
was quiet, and of course it wasn't that. It was the fact that they were sensing me, right? So the whole game is getting turned on its head a little bit right now. It'll be interesting to see what they carry on in the future with, whether they take, like last time they did a major overhaul, they permanently implemented self revive
Right.
for solo players.
Yeah, I think I remember that was an event that could happen, and then that got
Yeah,
implemented.
that was the tide. I think it was the Tide of Shadows.
Yeah, yeah, and I think
Um,
I
but
don't know if the community was like, yeah, we want to keep that, and they did. I don't know.
yeah, yeah, they changed a load of stuff. They've made some changes to ammunition.
Mhm.
They've got a training ground in there. But the other thing as well, though, is that because my character's invincible, I'm playing far more aggressive, and I'm playing far more aggressive solo, and I am really enjoying it. Really
Yeah.
enjoying it. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So Hunt continues to be game of choice for me
Very good.
when I want to fight. So yep, good old Hunt Showdown.
Excellent.
What else you got?
I've got a game. I'm not going to talk about it long. A game called Murder by Numbers. It.
I saw this was free on Epic, right?
Yep.
And
Yep.
I was like, "Oh, I should try that," but I didn't get round to doing it.
It's fucking terrible. Honestly, it
Brilliant.
is so horrifically bad.
Is it?
Um,
I looked at it. I thought, "Oh, that might be all right."
so so the puzzles are fun. The puzzles are good. Um, it's it's not a Sudoku. It's basically a numbers game, and you've got to use logic to work out where, kind of a bit like Minesweeper, but slightly different. Um,
Right.
in that you've got numbers, and that means there's open blocks, and you can cross out blocks that are not that you know aren't open, and there's
Yeah.
various different
I've
logics, and
played hundreds of those games. They're also well, we were both playing some of
yeah,
those games, right?
yeah, yeah, and
Tetsami or whatever it was.
yeah, so
Tatsui. I can't remember what it was called.
t- sounds right. Um, the puzzles are quite fun and to do, and the logic's quite sound. The and doing it. It's all wrapped around a really bad story and animation and bad music,
Oh
and you can't skip any of it. You can't even
no.
exit out of the game while you're in a story. And I played probably two or three puzzles, and then I was in story, having to click through individual line after line after line
Oh, it's
for
forcing you to.
for about 15
Yeah.
minutes. It like and I couldn't even exit it. I was like, do I just Alt F for it? But no, I was just like, click, click. I was like, do any of the other buttons work? No, can't even escape. Can't press escape and quit to desktop. It's so bad. I uninstalled it straight away. And
Oh.
I like puzzle games. I saw the game, much like you. Thought, oh, that looks interesting. I'll give that a go. No, uh,
No.
no. Even for free, it was a bad purchase.
Oh dear.
Yeah. So never
Is the
mind.
IP something that people know? Is it a popular IP or something like that, or is it
Uh,
just you think it's just?
I don't know. I don't think so. It looked quite interesting, I say, on the screenshots and the, it's the concept and the idea of it was good. But just the implementation and the terrible, terrible story, um, and user interface when you're in the story and not in the puzzles was was a no from me.
Oh dear. Oh well. Okay. Well, I've been playing something that's far better than that. There were a couple of points this week where I just needed to go sit down and get back on the Zelda
Is that when you smashed your
grind.
foot?
Uh, no, no, no. I smashed my foot was just I just sort of zonked myself out and watched crappy television. But I did play quite a bit of Zelda the other day. Um, and if I can just, I've got it. I know what I want with Zelda, right? Get the Switch, I move it up from the basement, I put it upstairs. It's summertime. I don't like being stuck in the basement. I have to be stuck in the basement when I'm playing my PC games, but that's usually early in the morning or whatever. early evening. If I'm playing something, I want to be next to that big window. I want the back door open with some nice breeze. It's beautiful right now. So
Right.
that to me is I get the Switch upstairs. Nature's outside. I love it. Right. I've got that setup is perfect for Zelda, and I'm on a couch. Right. It's perfect. So when I get that right, then I love putting in 2 to 3 hours. And that's the thing with the Zelda as well. You need to put in some decent time, um, because there's no shortage of quests to get your teeth into. Like I still am flabbergasted. Like I'm at the end point. I'm pretty much at the end point where if I wanted to, I could go in for the big fight.
Right, right.
Right. But I've got open up my map. There's huge black bits all over my map. I haven't explored half of, maybe not even half of it. My son looked at, because when you're in the loading screen, maybe you don't know, but in the whenever you're loading, it shows you a tally of everything that you've collected, right? How many shrines you've done, how many Korok seeds you have, blah 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 blah. And my son came in the other day. He just looked. He went, "That's all the shrines you've got." The disgust in his voice. And I was like, "Yep, I've just even though I don't feel like I've beelined through, just mainlined the story as quickly as possible. I feel like I've done quite a bit outside. I haven't.
Right.
It appears that I've barely scratched the surface.
Right, okay.
So I went the other day. I think on Tuesday night or whenever it was. I put some time aside. I've had a couple of sessions, 2 or 3 hour sessions. I know one of them I put time aside. I'd met somebody who'd said, "Yeah, I've got some special armor. They're all hidden in these places. I'll mark your map." And I'd never bothered to go look for them. Or I think I looked for one of them, couldn't find it very easily, and fucked it off. Right. This time I went, I'm going to go find them. So I did that, and it takes time, right? That takes a couple of hours. You got to get to each place. You got to then start moving around, and within these ones are in caves, right?
Right.
And when you go into the caves, it's not giving you an easy path. There's things you got to fight in the cave. Then there's all the stuff you need to look around and find and discover, and it's and then at the end of it, you get a nice piece of armor or whatever it is. I mean, it's just brilliant. It's just phenomenal. Losing yourself in it is great. And the other thing that's keeping me going is my son told me about. There's two things in every Zelda game. There's a Master Sword, right? I don't have the Master Sword yet. Where the fuck is the Master Sword? I don't know. I could easily type "Where's the Master Sword" into Google and find it, but I categorically refuse to do that, right? So where is the Master Sword? So that's one of the next things. Like I'm not going to go fight Ganon without the Master Sword.
Wasn't it at the start? It broke at the start, didn't it?
Did it decay like everything else?
Yeah, I think it did.
I mean, I've forgotten. I have a terrible memory for this stuff, so I probably need to go back to the home village or whatever it is. The home base, south of Hyrule, and maybe see if I can find out where it is and get on that quest because I'd like to get that. And then there's something else about dragons or something. I don't know what it was. Anyway, my son told me that is a really cool side quest to do, so I shouldn't miss that. So I've put aside Endgame, put that on the shelf, come back to Endgame later. Now I'm just going to go off. And why not, right? There's no time limit.
No.
Nothing saying that I have to finish this game. It's just there and I can pick it up and play it whenever I want. So that's what I'm doing. It's great. Love it.
Very
Really
good.
good. Yeah. Yeah. So that's that.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I do want to pick it up, but it's just time for gaming at the moment. Not gonna love it. Oh, did I tell you sorry, going back to an old thing that I've thought about. Did I tell you about my purchase of a gutter vacuum?
No. That like one of those big extension things.
I literally just thought about it because I was thinking, I wish I could play tomorrow some Zelda. I was like, no, I've got to vacuum some gutters or gutter some vacuums. Vacuum some gutters. I bought a gutter vacuum.
Okay.
Sorry, like randomly talking about this stuff. Yeah, I bought one a couple of weeks ago.
I'm not sure because I've seen the only thing I can think I've seen like is it the whole thing vacuum included?
So it's like, so do you know like Henry Hoover's?
Yes.
It's a massive one of those. It's
Like a
about
wet, like a shop vac. That's what we
it's
would call a shop vac.
yeah, it's a shop vac. It's got two motors on it, two different on buttons, and it engages two different motors. And it's got about four poles, carbon fiber poles with a bit on the end, um, like a, don't know, how do you describe that? Like a up and
Like a
over,
U-bend, right?
yeah, like
Yeah,
a
like
thick
a
U-bend,
gooseneck.
yeah. And then you switch it on and you vacuum along. Anyway, long story short, um, one of the motors weren't working randomly.
Okay.
I got it from the place and I got it at my mum and dad's and switched it on. And I was like, this isn't very good. It's not doing much. And we noticed that even though we engaged both motors, only one of the motors was running. So we got that swapped out. Called the place up. Um, Luckily, they were just down the road. I didn't even realise that this thing was being sold. It's literally down at the industrial park down the road. And they rang me up and I said, "Oh yeah, we'll just come out and swap the head over for you." So that's my job for tomorrow. Is that
Right.
got to go to my parents and test this thing out, and make sure it works. Um, but yeah, it looks the business for with only one motor running. It did clear out one of the gutters, but it was when it started getting to the big stuff. It was like, no, it's not gonna.
All right. Yeah. Wait till you got the power of the second motor,
Well,
right?
that's it. And their house has got loads of trees and stuff around it. So
Right.
yeah, they get it pretty bad over there. So, but I got it because I don't want to go up the ladders.
Right.
Because yeah, we've got with the gutters in here. I know has stuff growing in them.
Hmm.
And one of the gutters is completely blocked. And I was like, I could get a ladder, or I could try and get like one of these things so I don't like kill myself.
Right.
Because I don't like going up ladders. I'm not scared of heights. I'm scared of falling from a large
Yeah, I've stopped. I mean, I have a ladder. I bought a huge ladder which gets me to the top of my house, which is it's a fair height, my
Mm.
house. Um, and I did go up on the roof and put an aerial up there and all that sort of stuff. But I've started to shy away from wanting to do that. Uh, and we had the same problem. We got trees that are just clogging up the gutters every year. It was a nightmare,
Mm.
causing all sorts of problems. Like when it was heavy rain, it was just flowing straight over the gutters and
Right.
not doing us any good in around the house.
No, and it's loud as well. That's what we found
Yeah,
here. Is that like you just hear the sploshing of water down like for the whole roof just over one area.
yeah,
The
yeah,
bit.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the problem with it as well is that then it all goes into the foundation of the house.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not. It's worse for us because we have. I don't know if you have a basement or not. We have a basement, of course.
Mm.
But you don't want water pooling right
No.
around your house
No.
at all. It's not good. And after heavy rains, you can feel it's damper in the bedroom,
Right.
like
Your
the
knees start to
humidity.
hurt.
Yeah, right. But we got that problem solved by putting in a covering over the gutters. So we
Okay.
have a metal covering over our gutters now. It's like just basically a piece of metal sheet with lots of holes in it. So tiny holes. So it allows
Right.
the water to come into it, but not the detritus
Yeah.
of
The moss and
of
the leaves
all
and
that crap. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, there you go. Gutter
Yeah.
talk.
So yeah, it was just reminded me of like the job that I've got to do tomorrow.
Oh, I've got a job to do. One of
Yeah.
my jobs to do
What's your job?
it is to replace the clutch on the AC on my wife's car. So
Oh,
we were
just
driving.
let us sweat.
Oh, mate, no. Well, I drive that car too
Oh
sometimes.
right.
Plus, I've done it before, so
Oh okay.
I
Okay.
guess it's burned out or whatever. It was just making a horrendous noise. So I cut the belt. I don't know if you know how it works, but basically there's a belt that drives the compressor,
Yeah.
the AC compressor
Off the engine.
directly
Yeah.
off the engine,
Yeah.
yeah. And then there's a clutch, so when it needs the cooling, it just engages the clutch, and then that engages
The AC
the
unit.
the
Yeah.
the
Compressor.
unit of
Yeah.
the motor, yeah, compressor, exactly. Anyway, that was pooched, making tons of noise, so I just cut the belt so it stopped making noise. But now I've ordered a new clutch. Came in yesterday off the from the States, because bizarrely we can't order just the clutch in Canada. If you want to replace it, you have to replace the whole thing, compressor,
Right.
clutch, thing, which is like $2,000 or something, plus plus plus. Whereas I could order the clutch for like $60 from the States. But that's typical. That's
That's
all that
so
free.
weird.
Canada just gets fucking dinged
Right.
all the time.
Right. So maybe the
States,
company's like, it's not economically worth our while sending just this part over the border and tax
God
and
knows,
everything
yeah,
like
how it
that.
works anyway.
So you order it and what? Do you go and pick it up from America? Have you got a?
No. They sent it to me, so I paid. Yeah, actually, the shipping wasn't too bad, so it ended up getting delivered to my house for like $100
Oh,
Canadian or
nice.
something.
So,
So
so how do you order it? Oh, you actually go
I
to an
ordered it
American
off
website,
eBay. I
right?
ordered it off eBay from an American seller.
Okay, okay. That's...
Yeah, yeah, and I've done it before. And bizarrely, there's a circlip in there to get one of the parts off, and I had to buy the tool to get that off.
Right.
And I was like, didn't really want to buy the tool at the time. I was like, I don't really want to spend money on that tool, but I'll roll it into the cost of the repair, right? Well, now I'm doing the repair again. That tool is starting to pay for itself nicely, right?
Is
I've
it
got a ton of.
is it one of those like really thin clips that goes over and your tool goes in and separates it? Is that?
That's exactly it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So it's like a pair of almost like needle nose
Yeah.
pliers, but it's got little prongs on it which fit into the clip, and then you can, you know, spread it apart like an automotive scapula. Is it a scapulum? I'm not sure. Anyway, yeah. So I got that job to do, which shouldn't be too bad. Fingers crossed, everything will go swimmingly on that. We'll see.
That's
But
right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
As Dan was saying, there's a thing called the internet. Like, he said he's bought some bike parts from Spain. Um, yeah, that's like,
Yeah, the only problem we have with a lot of that, I mean, there's tons of stuff. I was looking at, so if I went to replace my Razer mouse, if I was to buy it here, I think it cost me about $65. I can buy it in the US for like 25 or something. But if I order it and get it sent up here to the US, from the US, now I'm looking at 20 to $30 in delivery. And then they might even charge me import taxes as well if they catch it at the border. So you have to be
so.
careful.
So do you
It's
just
not.
have a list of stuff that you want to buy from America when you go?
Well, funnily enough, Chipper's coming to me tomorrow, so I know she's bringing me some stuff that I bought in the US.
Nice, nice.
So,
And if she gets stung
but
for import tax when she drives through
yeah,
States,
she shouldn't do. No, she should be fine. But no, I know another friend of mine. I spoke to him yesterday. He's driving across the border. He might have gone today to
no.
go pick up stuff that he ordered. His wife ordered, had sent to somebody that she knew lives in New York State,
Yeah.
and then sent her ever diligent husband to go pick them up. So he's driving across the border to go pick it up. So it's all this, you know, there is some sort of free trade agreement, but I don't know. Yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
Very nice.
All right, let's move on to this last game then.
So last game that both me and you have been playing, apparently.
Well, I saw it on your list and I was like, well, I'll see if that's on my phone. And it was. So I gave it a go today.
Yeah, bonus. Um, Although, well, I don't think there is actually any integration. I think you just chase it. So, there's a game that I've started playing called Coffee Golf. And the idea of it is you play a round of golf, 5 holes in your coffee break. Takes what, 5 minutes to play a game. You have a choice of 3 clubs. It's kind of like a isometric view. And it's over like 3 or 4 levels, different levels. Um, you you pull back on your screen to line up a shot, and it gives you a estimation of where it's going to be in a circle. So you the ball doesn't go where you point the pointer to it. It's a sort of estimated area of where it's going to
Yeah,
land.
rough idea, right?
Yeah. And you use a driver, wedge, and a putter to get from your tee off to the hole. and then when you get the ball in the hole, that is your new tee off to the next hole. And the actual courses are randomized each day. So you got to have a look round. You got to sort of have an idea about how you want to get from hole to hole, and the
Yeah,
best.
there's no set way. You don't have to go from hole
No.
1 to 2 to 3. You can do. The goal is here's 5 holes in a little map.
Yeah.
Have at it,
Yeah.
right? The quickest
That's
you can
it.
get round, the quicker you can get round.
Yeah.
So
So well,
yeah.
not quickest, in the shortest
Sorry,
amount of
sorry.
strokes.
Yeah, yeah.
And there is water hazards. Although there are lilies, apparently you can. I've bounced it off a lily earlier.
Oh
so,
yeah.
So
Oh, that's what that was. There was a black thing that came into the water next to me, so I
Yeah,
guess that was a lily pad.
that was
Yeah.
a lily. So yeah, you can bounce it off them or even land on them, I think. So yeah, that's something I found out today. I've been playing it for a week. I don't know. I randomly downloaded it. I thought I just want a little stupid golf game, because I like playing golf on the mobile devices. I think they're quite good mediums for that. And it is a very simple, basic game. You can have more goes, but you've got to watch a video, um, or I think you can pay and unlock. I don't know.
There must be something, right? There's got
Yeah.
to be some monetization to it. I only
Uh,
played the one day today, so I played one game today and I
mhm.
took 21 shots,
Yep.
which was horrendous. I knew that, but I was still figuring out how to play
Mhm.
it. And then it said, "Oh, because this is your first day, we'll let you play again."
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
went around again and did it in 16. So immediately I knocked off
Brilliant.
5, and I still went in the water. So I know I
Right.
could do better.
Yeah. Um,
But then it said that's enough. That's all you get for today. And
yeah.
so
Yeah. When you start doing better, you get told. I think you get told you're in the top 50%, and then there's a top. I think it's top 30%, and then I don't know. I never got any higher than that. I'm pretty sure there'd be like 25, 10, 5, whatever.
right,
Um, so as a really basic, simple game that is like basically just what it says on tin. It's a coffee break game where you can sit and just play a round of golf, 5 holes, with a bit of a puzzle element to it. It's a great little game. I love it. I say I didn't realise anybody else was playing, so I don't know if we're playing the same maps, be it you being on iOS and me being on Android or not. That'd be interesting to find out.
right.
But yeah, what did you think?
Same. I thought it was okay. It's certainly nicely put together little game. I
Hmm.
mean, I don't hold that much hope for it holding my attention for a long time, but
Well, you got the
I'll
pinball, haven't you? So
well, yeah, actually, still playing that. Every day I'm still playing pinball on my iPad.
yeah.
Still playing that Williams pinball. I absolutely love it.
Hmm.
I do the daily challenges every day, and even unlock extra daily challenges to do sometimes. It's just if I got nothing to do, I'll just pick it up and just run off some challenges.
Right.
Um,
Right.
so yeah, but yeah, it's all right. Yeah,
Yeah. I think the reason I picked it up is because I think I'm starting to struggle with not smoking anymore. With it being nice weather outside, I don't have a reason to go outside anymore. And so I just picked this up thinking I'll just have a quick game of this and sit outside in the sun. Well, sun. It was a bit overcast. It's been a bit shit here. But I think that's what I miss about summer, or when I smoked when I was vaped, when it was
right.
summer, is that was my excuse to pop outside and like have 5 minutes to myself. Um, and I think yeah, that's one thing with well moving to the new house and all these jobs, constant jobs to do, as I don't have that rest time anymore.
Yeah.
So
And as
yeah.
well, you're doing all this work, and where's the smoke? Where's the rewarding smoke at the end of it? Right?
It's the sweet nicotine. So no, I think it's just the more of the routine that I was missing out on is that like I used to be able to get away from doing things by going out for a vape, um, whereas I don't anymore. So I fill that time with doing jobs. Um, but doing jobs is the opposite of why I used to go out for a vape. So yeah, So this is my guilt-free 5 minutes. Leave me alone. I'm doing this.
You're spoiling yourself with coffee golf.
Yeah, spoiling myself with just something to get away from it. So yeah, no, it's but I don't know, it's a good game to do that as well. So
Yeah, it was all right. Yeah.
yeah, and
All
that's
right.
it from me for my gaming. I think that looks to be the end of yours as well.
That's all I got, mate. I say it's a short one this week, but if you're okay with that, I'm okay with that. Let's call it and just get on with our weekends.
Yeah. So I am here next weekend. But I know I've got a holiday coming up after that as well. I'll get the missus to show me the calendar.
Okay.
But yeah, Neil said he is back next weekend as well. So
All right. Okay. We'll be back to full strength next week then. Do you want to do your bit?
I will do my bit. I'm literally outro. There we go. Just bring it up. I'm so not ready this week. Right. Thank you for listening to the Seal Podcast. If you'd like to ask us questions or get involved, please contact us either on Twitter at Seal Podcast, email us at sealpodcast@gmail.com, or join us on our Discord server. A link is pinned on Twitter. We have YouTube and Twitch channels which we upload and stream to. I was going to do Neil shout out, but Neil's not here. So we've had Hardly Dan, Lord, always good to hear from you, Lord, and Mintsafe in the chat this
All
week.
right.
Thank you
Okay.
for joining. Oh, I better see if I think I need to resubscribe with my Amazon Prime.
Ooh, get it in there, son.
Yeah. Can't miss out on that. But yeah, that's it. That's all from me.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah. So a little bit shorter this week, but there you go. Hopefully, you appreciate that we get you something out. We tried. I just realised I've forgotten to get Craig in, so we got to deal with that. Did you notice?
I literally noticed about 10 minutes ago.
Shit.
Oh well,
well.
we can take it off Twitch, can't we?
Oh, we will. Don't worry. If you're listening to this anyway in your podcast listening device of choice, then you know we sorted it out. So
if not, sorry.
yeah. So we're giving Neil lots of ammunition to just take the piss out of us of how useless we are. So
Yeah.
and we can tell him we don't care.
It doesn't need much to do that, really, does it?
No, he doesn't. No. All right. Well, he is missed. But like we say, we'll all be back next week. Thank you very much for listening, and enjoy your weekend, enjoy your week, and we'll catch up with you soon.
Thanks, guys.